It is my pleasure to welcome all of you. Before we start our program, I will request our Imam brother to come and recite the Holy Quran. Please, brother Imam.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين صلى الله على خير خلق محمد وعلى آله وسلم السلام عليكم.
Thank you very much, brother Imam. Now it is today's speaker does not need any introductions. I think that all of you know him. But briefly, he was born in British India, and his parents were so happy they named him Abdul Rahman. Then he migrated from India to Pakistan as Abdul Rahman. And then after graduation from the high schools, his name was changed to Abdul Rahman Sabir. For a couple of years, he teaches in Pakistan as a professor, and then he moved to the USA as Abdul Rahman Sabir. Then slowly, his name changed from Abdul Rahman Sabir to Sabir Abdul Rahman. And now finally, to my knowledge, he is a Sabir Rahman. So without further ado, I will request him to come and do the presentations.
This is the mutation.
Assalamu alaikum. I am really honored that you have asked me to come and talk to you about my story. And if you give me a moment, I'm going to get my script on my telephone. See, I'm getting smart. Script on the telephone. Smartphone. I am an Indian by birth, a Pakistani by nationality, and an American by citizenship. I was 7 years old in 1947, and I found somebody who was also 7 years old in 1947, Imam Mubashir. And he came from Gurdaspur, I came from Hoshiarpur. Port is common in both. And my family was forced to run out of our area to seek shelter in Pakistan. Pakistan, my Pakistan, our Pakistan, and the price we paid for that Pakistan. And today I'm going to talk about the situation that will give you an indication of the extent and the magnitude of that price. History of Pakistan should be known to every Pakistani, but it's not. I have found that a lot of people do not know history but claim that they know everything because they have heard things which some people who claim to be experts have said, and everybody believes that. However, most of the thing that passes for history is not accurate. It's very different from what actually happened. So today, we are not going to talk about that subject. That's a subject for another day. Today we're going to talk about my story. What's happening? It's not, oh, it's not moving.
It's moving now.
It is moving.
The
Oh.
story is installed.
It's sensitive.
It's a smartphone.
Put the phone.
It's outsmarting me.
Not gonna let you back.
Okay, today we are going to talk about how in 1947 my family was forced out of our ancestral homes and compelled to run to save our life across the border and seek shelter in Pakistan. It took us 4 months from August to December, and it was a miserable journey. I have been trying to write this story since 1969. I started in 1969, I wrote the first day's account, and then I stopped. You know, I'm very lazy. After 35 years, the children of my family said, tell us the story. And we started a storytelling session, and that lasted years. And then they said, write it down, and I started writing it down. I wrote it down long time ago, but did not know how to publish. Then my brother Abdurrahim, who is accomplished in these things, made it possible. Jamshedopal helped. And in editing the manuscript, my son Rahil did a lot of help, and he helped me in setup. My daughter Rubina wrote the foreword, and my niece Nosheen created the design, which is what was there and is gone now. Here it is. I think I should get the mouse. Will it help? I don't know how to use it. Let me see if it helps.
I already connected. Make sure you turn it on. That's all you have to do. Yeah, you're on.
How can I?
You should be able to.
Oh, okay.
There's your mouse.
Right.
And now you click on the picture, I think it moves it forward. So, yeah.
Oh, what's happening?
Or easier to go up and down with your finger.
Okay, you see, Nosheen created this design. This is my mother. This is my aunt. This is me. This is nobody. Nosheen just added it for artistic effect. And this is my brother Abdurrahim. And Abdurrahim is the grandfather of, father-in-law of Nosheen. And this is my story, the story of a forced exit from Indian Punjab to Pakistani Punjab. It's not only my story, the story of Punjab. It's the story of 15 to 20 million people who were forced, like us, out of their homes and run for their lives to cross the border. Not all of them made it. Between 1 and 2 million died, were killed. And I am a survivor. I survived, so did everyone in my family. But the 4 months that we spent in that journey was totally miserable. What's wrong with it? Okay. Abdullah, can you? Okay, Rai will help me. It's not changing.
Just go. It's changing there, it's not changing here.
Right.
So it's changing.
Okay.
It's just delayed. Where do you want to be?
Right here.
Okay.
This is where I want to be.
It's showing you what the next one is.
Oh, okay.
And it's showing you what the next
Oh,
one
okay.
is.
Okay.
This is what you're on. This is the next slide.
Mm-hmm.
Just pay attention to this one.
Okay. Okay. I shouldn't be looking here.
No.
Shouldn't be looking here. Okay. So, at 7 years old, I became a refugee along with my whole family. But I survived, and now I'm 83 years old. I'm 7 years older than Pakistan. Pakistan is my younger brother. We decided what to call this book in a very strange way. I used to call it an incredible journey. But my son said, you cannot use that title because Hobbit's story was also called Incredible Journey. So we started looking for a title. And then I remembered from 8th grade, there's a poem by Josh Maliabadi in which there is a line that says, तेरे घर से एक जिंदा लाश उठ जाने को है. A living corpse is about to leave your house. I think I don't need to translate except for Khurshid and this young man over here. Everybody else understands what I'm saying. And so I mentioned this to my son and daughter, and they said, hey, that's a great idea, use it. Zinda Lash means living corpse. And that's what we were for 4 months during our journey from our ancestor home to the final destination. So we call it Flight of the Living Corpses. This is the subcontinent of India. The red part is Punjab. This is Asia, and here you can see India and Pakistan are both shown. At one time, India was all Hindu. Everyone in India belonged to the Hindu religion. Then in the year 52, Apostle Thomas, thank you, Apostle Thomas brought Christianity to India. From 711 to 1200, Iranians and Arabs brought Islam to India. A new religion was born in India in around 1500. It's called the Sikh religion. Judaism and Zoroastrianism came to India after 1600. But India remained essentially Hindu, always with 75% or more. Religion in northwest and east was predominantly Islam. Northwest in Punjab, there were 58% Muslims. In the rest of northwest was even higher Muslim population. In East Bengal was Muslim population majority. And so the Muslims wanted separate Muslim states, but the Hindus opposed it. Sikhs sided with the Hindus in Punjab. They opposed separate Muslim states also. This is Punjab until 1947. This is what became of Punjab after 1947. The black line is the knife that cut Punjab into two. We are from the eastern part of Punjab, district Hoshiarpur. This is the district Hoshiarpur. The red part is our area. And you will not understand this part, so let me go back to the bigger map. And you will see a black star in the red part on the right side. That's our area. And you can see the line of Pakistan, and you can imagine how far we were from Pakistan. We were Muslims, now in Hindu India, 100 miles from Pakistan. We did not care. India or Pakistan, it doesn't matter to us. This is our home, this is where we have lived forever, this is where we are going to continue to live. We are not going anywhere. That's what we thought. How wrong we were. Then, in one day, two things happened that changed our life. First thing was a fire somewhere in the south. We did not know what that fire was, but it was burning very big. The flames were going sky high, smoke was all over the place, and everybody in the village was on rooftops looking at the fire, wondering what it was. The mystery was solved late at night. It was the village of Mirpur, 2 miles south of us, that was burning. 6 attacked that village, set the village on fire, and started killing those who were running to escape the fire. Many were killed by the fire, many were killed by the attackers, and many were injured. But they kept on running until they reached one Muslim village or another. This is our village. Oops. This is too sensitive. This is our village. Ooh, this is Mirpur. And when the people came to our village, we found out what happened. They told us what happened, and now we were wondering, we could be attacked next. What should we do? Our elders got together and started wondering what we should do, discussing our plans. But then we heard a motor vehicle engine noise, which was strange because no motor vehicle ever came to our village. And this engine noise was coming from the west side. And everybody rushed to the rooftops. I remember that on the rooftops at the edges they had piled up broken bricks, broken glasses, and so many other things. And I had asked my grandmother, what are they for? And she said, oh, those are our weapons. If an enemy attacks us, we will throw it on them. That's all the weapons we had. So everybody went to their weapons, ready to... We thought the Indian army soldiers were attacking our village because we had heard stories that Indian army soldiers had attacked Muslim village and killed a lot of people. And however, fortunately, it was not Indian army soldier. It was an army truck, but it belonged to a friend. Mehdin was a soldier from our village. He had come to take his family to Pakistan in an army truck. But this is a generic picture. That truck could be something different. So Mehdin talked to our people and told them that Sikhs are attacking Muslim villages all over Indian Punjab, and they are killing a lot of people and forcing all to leave. And we should leave and go to Pakistan as soon as possible. And that was his advice to us. He packed his family and left in the middle of the night, sort of making a point, get out. But after he left, we were wondering. Nobody knew where Pakistan was. Nobody knew how far it was. Nobody knew how to go there. So what do we do about it? But then nobody wanted to leave anyway. So the discussion started that we should go somewhere to be safe for a little while, because this is a temporary situation. The crisis will be over and we will come back. Everyone was sure that this is temporary. We will come back. And so we decided to clean the houses, put everything neatly in the houses, lock the door, give the keys to the Hindu servants, told them, take care of our houses, take care of our farms. When we come back, we will reward you. And we left by taking very little with us, only the bare essentials and the valuables, because this is all the means of transportation we had. It's called Gadda in Punjabi, Belgadi in Urdu, and every family had one. This picture I got from internet, then my niece Noshin drew one also. This is Noshin's picture. So we left thinking that this is temporary, we shall come back. Everyone was crying. Those who were leaving, we were leaving behind Hindus and Sikhs in the village. They were crying, saying farewell to us. We were crying because we were leaving. But nobody he thought for a moment that this is permanent. Everybody thought this is temporary, we are coming back. The departure scene was very chaotic. And many years later, I saw the movie 10 Commandments. It shows the departure scene of the Hebrews from Egypt. And I found that scene to be remarkably similar to our departure scene, and I wondered if the director had seen our departure and was trying to recreate in the movie. The movie was made in 1956, our departure in 1947. He had plenty of time to see our departure. This is the scene from the 10 Commandments. This is the scene from our departure. This is a typical Punjabi departure. It's not our picture. We didn't have any cameras. So our caravan started moving to a destination that did not exist. We were moving to nowhere. We took our journey from our village, which is right here, to the main road and went here where our police station was. We were hoping that the police will give us protection to a protected camp in Ludhiana. We had heard there is a protected camp in Ludhiana. Chief of police was either a Sikh or a Hindu. He was not a Muslim. He refused to give us protection to Ludhiana, but said, I'm setting up a camp nearby, go to that camp and I'll protect you there. Our elders refused to go there and decided to move on their own. Later on we found out, this is an interjection here, that we found out that that camp gathered a lot of Muslim villages. It became a big camp, the one that the police chief was setting up. Then it was attacked and there was large-scale massacre. Our elders were wise not to go there. We also found out later that the fire of Mirpur that forced us to leave was seen miles around that village. And every Muslim in the region left like us. Terror is a powerful weapon. So, that police station had 2 Muslim policemen. I don't know how many total were there, a lot of them, but 2 Muslim policemen. And they were not there that day. They came back that night, met our elders, and agreed with our decision and decided to escort us. How they arranged it with the police chief, I have no idea. But they went as part of the way. So our caravan left the police station under the protection of two policemen riding on horses in uniform and carrying guns. 2 miles down the road, around here, was the village of my uncle, and that village joined us. And the whole caravan started moving together this way, parallel to the river, and this is Satluj River. I remember this day, this has been just only the second day, the mood of the people were changing. Nobody was talking about going back anymore. In 2 days, so much has happened that both the present and future had become uncertain and confusing. But somewhere around here, in this area, we were attacked by armed men who charged us from the front. But as soon as they saw the two policemen riding on horses, carrying guns in uniform, they stopped. And they said, "Oh, we were here to see who these people are and see if they need any help." And then they left. Nobody believed what they said. If the policemen were not with us, our journey would have ended there and we would all be dead. I keep looking at the right side. I should be looking at the left side. This is actually a picture of RSS. Our people look menacing, but not this well dressed. So we finally reached the river. When we reached the river, everybody was frightened by the sight of the river. It took us about 3 days, 15 miles journey before we reached the river. But the river looked like this, and it terrified everybody. People of our village had never seen a river. There was no river nearby us. People of my uncle's village lived next to a river. They knew everything about a river. If we had to go to Ludhiana, we had to cross this river, and there was no bridge. The people of my uncle's village said, "We'll get you across, don't worry." But the people of our village, some said, "Okay, we trust you, you will get across." Some said, no, we are not even going to try. The caravan was split. The policemen decided not to take side, they went back. So those who wanted to cross the river with the help of the people of my uncle's village started. We had only one little boat, something like this. This is generic picture also. And it could carry only 3 or 4 persons at a time and a little bit of belongings. But the boatmen were supermen. They worked day and night, long hours, and finally got across. I do not know how many days it took, but they got us across safely. Then there was animals and the bullock carts that had to be taken across. Bullock carts could float, animals could swim, but they had to be guided, and the people of the village of my uncle, some of whom were expert swimmers, got them across. The animals were of 2 kinds. The cow family animals can swim, but they don't like water. They will get in water and hurry up to get to the other side. But the water buffalo animals love water. Just put them in water, they don't want to come out. So their guides have to have special skill to push them out. And those swimmers from my uncle's village had those skills, and they got them out. Finally, we were on the other side, south side of the river bank, and we camped there for many days. We sort of lost our purpose. We did not know where we were going, and we had no idea, so everybody just relaxed there for many days. And then we were robbed by the Indian army soldiers. The army truck that we were fearing finally came, and the Indian soldiers came in that truck. Indian women and Punjabi women have jewelry made of gold and silver and lot of it. And people also had some cash, and soldiers wanted all of it. They robbed us of every gold and silver item, every piece of cash, and they left with three very large bags full of gold and silver. When they left, we wondered that these were supposed to be our protectors, and now they have become our tormentors. And you're not going to believe it. We thank God that they did not kill us. We were so grateful just for being spared our lives. They took everything. We were grateful that they did not kill us. Now we started rushing to reach Ludhiana. But Mother Nature became a problem. This was rainy season. Until now there were no rains, but now rains started coming and they just would not stop. The whole earth was full of water, wet and muddy. The dirt roads on which we were traveling were totally turned into mud pools, and the cars just kept getting stuck. You can imagine a snowstorm where a 30-minute trip turns into a 5-hour ordeal. And we were stuck in mud and wet and hungry. Somebody stuck in a snowstorm is in a heated car going home. We were on a muddy road, exposed to the rain, exposed to the sun, exposed to everything, and nowhere to go, no destination, and just stuck there. I don't know how long it took, but we finally reached the camp in Ludhiana. It's 38 miles from the river crossing to the camp. I don't know how many days it took, because days and dates, I have no idea. I know that we left few days after Eid al-Fitr, which was on August 18, and we were in Ludhiana camp on Eid al-Adha, which was on October 25, but other than that, I do not know any dates. It's somewhere in that area. This is the Ludhiana city in 1947. This is the river. It was the south border of the Ludhiana city. It's called Buddha Darya. Buddha means old man, Darya means river. So it literally means old man river. The area south of the river in 1947 was totally vacant, and the camp was located in that vacant area between the railroad track and the highway, and it extended for miles and miles to the south. I don't know how many people were there. When we got there, there were already a sea of people. This is not a camp picture, but it looked like this. This is how many people there were. We found a little space in that camp, put our cart there, and planted ourselves around the cart. Very small space in which we can just sit during the day and lie down at night became our home for the next 2 months. And nobody ever came to inquire about our welfare or offer us anything, but the Indian authority was constantly checking that we were not doing anything to offend the sensitivities of the Sikhs and the Hindus. We were not. We were just trying to survive. And when it rained on us. When it's sun shone, it shone on us. We had no protection, no tents, no cover, absolutely exposed to all the elements of the nature. As the rains kept falling, the river kept rising, and finally the river flooded. When the river flooded, the whole camp had 1 foot or deeper water all over the place, and we lived in that water for many days until the water drained back into the river. It was 2 months after we were there, long after Eid al-Fitr, sometime in the middle of November, that we were given orders to start moving. And we had 2 paths to go, either to Amritsar through Jalandhar or to Firozpur. We were told to go to Firozpur. Firozpur is 80 miles. 80 miles from Ludhiana. I don't know how many days it took us, because we traveled as we were told to travel, stopped as we were told to stop. We could not get off the road. If anybody got off the road, he got killed. So it was the road. I don't know, some of my older friends would remember the roads of Pakistan at that time. Very narrow road, one lane road. If 2 pieces of traffic are coming from either side, one has to stop and get outside so that other can pass. 1 lane road, on that 1 lane road, the caravan was moving and we had to stay on that road. If we got off the road, we got killed. So I don't know how many days it took, but we finally reached Firozpur, and the border was another 7 miles after that. Border is very different now. This dam was built in 1961 to 1964. And this had changed the location of the crossing. Our crossing was somewhere around here. In 1947, Satluj River branched in 2 branches, forming an island. The first branch and the island was in India. The second branch formed the border of Pakistan, India. We had to cross that. I remember that day, it was so horrible. People were rushing through that island trying to reach the river, either because they were sensing the safety on the other side of the river, or because there was some kind of danger in the island. People were so panicking that if somebody asked me, what is hell? I would say that island the day we crossed it. Finally, we crossed the river, and we were in Pakistan. In the Pakistan, the road was so nice and calm, because everyone relaxed after crossing the river. Everyone became sort of calm, because the panic, the danger, all the misery was way in the past, more than 2 hours. This is how quickly people forget their miseries. We were very relaxed. Men were very happily talking to each other, walking leisurely. Bullock carts were allowed to move at their own pace. Nobody was driving the bullocks. And the women were engaged in their own very relaxed conversations, and the children were running around all over the place. This was a drastic difference to what happened on the other side of the border, where children were held on to by their parents and elders for dear life. They would let them few inches from them. They held on to them. Here, they were running around, nobody was looking. I myself ran around a lot of places, even went into farm which are on the one side of the caravan. Nobody panicked. So if somebody asks me, what's heaven? I would say it's the road in Pakistan across the bridge. But we reach Kasur, which is about 20 miles from the border, after sunset, and we realized we were not in heaven. People looked at us with contemptuous eyes. Nobody talked to us. Nobody came to help us. Nobody asked for our welfare. Nobody even offered us water. At least they were not trying to kill us. That was our only happiness, that now we are safe. Nobody is trying to kill us. This is my journey from in Pakistan. This is Kasur, Lahore, Sheikhupura, and we went all the way to Sukheki. 130 miles, and we took many weeks to travel this, because we would travel a few miles, then stop and wonder where else to go. And finally from Sukheki we got a message that some of our people from our village are settled in some place. They asked us to come. So from Sukheki we came back and settled down in that village. The village name was Jatri Kona. Kona means old Jatri in the district Sheikhupura. And finally we had a roof over our head after 4 months. I remember seeing the movie Red River, in which Montgomery Clift goes into a trader's office and then looking at the roof, and the trader said, "What are you looking at?" He said, "Roof, I haven't been under for 2 months." This is how we felt. We were not under a roof for 4 months. They had tents, they had everything, we didn't have anything. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Brother Sabir. Now it is open for questions.
I think I have answered all the questions.
Beautiful story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir, why did you decide to go 130 miles, you said, from the border?
We did not know where to go. So we just kept moving. And they kept asking people, "Can you guide us?" There was nobody to guide us. Finally, somebody found out about us. They came after us and they said, "Hey, we have found a place, come there." That's when we turned.
Sabir bhai, thank you for the presentation. As a 7-year-old, I have some pictures in my mind, but very few. And so you must have some pictures, burnt into your memory. But also you were talking to your mother, you're talking to your elders, maybe your uncles. How much of this is your own sort of experience, and how much of this is what your elders, your mother narrated to you? And were you talking to your elders about this journey?
I'm glad you asked that question, because that was part of my presentation which I skipped. I have written only what I remember personally. I have been told stories by my elders and by others, and if I do not remember myself, I did not include it in my writing. Everything I have written is what I remember, and I have that picture in my mind. And I also had an explanation for that, because my aunt, especially the one who is on the cover picture, she used to say, "You remember more than your uncles." The reason is, I found out later on that anything that happened either too happy or too sad, I remember. Anything that was neutral, I do not remember. So I think it's those extremities that etched a picture in my mind that I cannot get rid of, even if I want.
I have questions for you.
And yes,
So when you left India at that time, how much agricultural land your family owned there? And once you arrived in Pakistan, when you settled, entered in the village, so you entered in somebody's house, settled down there, and how did it happen? And after settling in there, Pakistan, they started you looking bad eyes that you came from India, the local people there. I mean, can you comment on those?
that's a very good question. It's in my book, but let me explain. People were moving from both sides, as you know. Hindu Sikhs were leaving west, Muslims are leaving east, coming to west. And so there were vacant houses on both sides. When the refugees came, they were given, take that house, take that house. And by the time we reached there, there was no house left. There was one big, huge barn that was left, and it was very dirty. My uncle said, "We'll clean it up. We need a roof." So the second thing that both government did, Pakistan and India both, is how many people in your family? That's how many acres of land we will give you. 1 acre, 1 family member. Small or large, even I got an acre. I was only 7 and my brother was only 1.5. He got an acre too. So they said, "We are going to give you this much now, and when we get a verification," because both governments cooperated with each other to send verification of how much this person or that person owned back where they came from. Once you got verification, we'll get you the rest of the land. That's how it happened. Yes.
Brother Sabir,
Uh-huh.
I appreciate very much that you have such a sharp visual memories that at the age of 7 or 8, you were able to collect those episodes and events and even to document it. And I pay tributes to you. Usually at the age of 7 or 8, the child is not able to remember what you have described.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm sure you remember a lot too. Mubashir sir.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Jazakallah, thank you very much for sharing your all these, I'd say, tragic past and giving us a story, the real story, what happened. As I say, as you said in the beginning, I am from Gurdaspur, and the Gurdaspur was a majority a Muslim area, and it was very well known that it will go to Pakistan, because wherever the Muslim are in majority, it will go. But the problem was with Gurdaspur that that was the only area where India could go to Kashmir, and they want to have Kashmir in the grip because majority of the Kashmiri were Muslims, but their ruler was not a Muslim, and the ruler decided to go towards India, which was a very conflicting kind of situation. So therefore, a scheme was made that the Gurdaspur should not be given to Pakistan, it should be given to India. And that was the political reason behind it. But at the same time, as you have mentioned, our community, Ahmadiyya community, was very well organized, and we were coming from Gurdaspur to Pakistan, and the way I remember they did was that instead of going in the carts and things like that, they organized buses. And all of us were asked to go and ride in the buses, and the front bus was with an army soldiers with guns who were Muslims, and the last one was also a truck of the army Muslims. That's why we came very safely as far as the journey was concerned, and we reached to Lahore. But at the same time, the trains coming from Delhi to Lahore, all the trains were coming and there was nothing but dead bodies. Because all the Muslims who were in the train trying to come to Lahore, they were killed on the way, with the exception of the train driver. Now my
But today, Mubashir Sahab, today is my story.
Yes.
So, as I mentioned earlier, that we should need to study history, but today is not the history.
I know, but I just want to share something with you. My father was in army, and he was coming from Calcutta to Lahore, and he knew that he will be killed. But luckily, he had a very fair kind of color, and he was in army. So he sat among the British army soldiers, and that's why he was saved, and he reached there.
Thank you. Just want to mention, today is my story, and I wish we had that kind of caravan ourselves. And we would have been very happy for somebody to provide the caravan. Lubna?
From the original caravan that you started from India, I'm pretty sure not everybody made it through the journey. When did people start dispersing, like going on their own? After they got to Pakistan, or when you crossed into Pakistan? I just wondered, I was thinking of that.
That's also a very good question. As I mentioned, that at the river, our caravan was split into half.
Right.
Half went
Yeah.
another place and half crossed the river.
Right.
Then when we came into the camp, we got scattered. And when we left the Ludhiana camp,
Right.
only about 8 or 10 families were together. The rest were, we do not know where they were. They were scattered. And that's why people from our village ended up everywhere in West Punjab, everywhere. No matter what district you go to, you will find people from our village. They were that badly scattered. But about 8 or 10 families remained together, and they came to where we are.
But you can actually answer my question. Like, my question was that once you settled there, so how were you treated? How were you treated there?
Oh, okay, that's
my second question relates to that one. So you migrated from Pakistan to US because of education or because you did not like there? I mean, what was the reason?
That's a separate story, but I'll briefly answer that. The first one is a very good question. In Pakistan, I have heard stories about people saying, oh, such and such family was going out to help the refugees, etc. I hope those stories are correct. Cannot prove it by me. We were in Pakistan for several weeks, and wherever we went, we were pushed away. Don't stop here. Keep going, keep going. We don't want you here. And nobody offered us anything. If people were starving, nobody offered them food. People were thirsty, nobody offered them water. Pakistani did not treat the refugees very well as far as my experience goes. And even when we reached the destination, we settled down, the local people did not treat us right. So we were not well treated in Pakistan. That's the first question. The second, I came here for education. I came here for education and never went back. And there's so many of us who came here for education, never went back. Well, I was not forced out of Pakistan. I came on my own.
So,
Rahid?
I was just saying, telling the story about the gold.
Tell them the story about the door. Door. The Kuivala. Yeah.
The one that everybody watched. It was a time that the Hindus, Sikhs, and Muslims lived harmoniously together before all this started. However, they did not share food, they did not share utensils. They did, if a Muslim touches something, a Hindu will throw it away. If a Hindu touches something, Muslim will throw it away. My father's village and my mother's village, where my mother came from, were 6 miles apart. In the middle of that village was an open area. In the open area was a well with a little water bucket about this big. It was, I think it was made of aluminum or something like that, very shiny. And everybody drank water from there. But the Muslims, when they got there, they would take that water bucket, we call it dole, and wash it with sand 7 times. Allahu Akbar, Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, Bismillah. And then clean it, then drink water from it. Hindus comes and he washes it with sand 7 times, Ram, 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 and then wash it, then drink water from it. I have told my children this story, they like it very much. But they drank from the same door, but they washed it 7 times. I don't know why they do 7 times, but it's sometimes always 7 times.
So tell us from Jatri Khona to Rajanpur, how did you end up in Rajanpur?
Shekhupura became waterlogged and the land became unproductive. I think in Punjabi we call it color. I don't know what the English word is. Huh?
Khara.
Yeah, that's it, the Urdu word. But I don't know what English word is. It's waterlogged.
Salination.
Salination. All the land became saline and became unproductive. So we started looking for some place where, and also there was second reason, like Khalid asked, when the rest of our verification came, we only had so much land that had been given to us. Where do we find the rest of the land? And then all in our area, the land was all distributed. There was no land left. The only place left was in Rajanpur. So, for 2 reasons, sick of the salinized water and salinized earth, and looking for extra land, we came to Rajanpur. That was 17 years after came to Pakistan. Okay? Yes?
How I can get this book?
Oh, Rahi, can you go to the car and bring some books? I wanted to bring them, I forgot.
Your sales manager?
Huh?
He's your sales manager?
Yeah, he is my stage manager. Of course, your son has to do these things.
My father wrote his autobiography few years before he died. I had to push him. It's Subha Karna Sham Ka. He never migrated. But one of the very interesting...
Your local people.
Huh?
Your local people.
Correct. So I want to tell a little
Like,
story.
just like Jamshed.
He's mentioned very proudly. He was in Gujranwala district, close to Hafsabad, one of the villages, I think Chichabatni or something. And very similar to things that you mentioned about touching. My grandfather was one of the Hakims, and he was outspoken, and he used to talk about that you can eat food after a Christian has touched it, and the villagers boycotted him for saying that. So, but one of the things, just as the partition was going to happen, one of his nephews, my grandfather's nephew, knew that this Hindu family was planning to move. So he went and robbed them and stabbed the guy to steal their gold. My grandfather not only took all the gold back to them, but he took the guy and took him to police station and got him arrested for doing that. And my father mentioned it very proudly. A separate story that he hired a lawyer to get him out.
Right.
So,
Thank you. Okay, Anwar Saab.
Thank you, Sabir bhai. Thank you very much.